Hey, what's up, YouTubers? I beg your pardon that I had to unlist one of my vids created most recently, since I believe it contains a bit of sensitive information. So therefore I decided to make it available to exclusively to my patrons. I hope you guys can understand the gravity inside it. So since my channel just has managed to attain a bit of a growth in over the most recent months, thanks to my thanks to my previous status of homelessness / exile, induced by some sort of internal conflicts and clashes that occurred within my family unit. Well, I can't certainly attribute all of my failures and sufferings to other people. I have to develop some self-coping mechanisms sooner or later as a man. And also, as you know, you can't just depend on somebody forever for the rest of your life except Jesus. And well, also including yourself, I might add. And yet, another saddening truth I managed to discover over the years of solitude and remaining time that I spent fapping, in the meantime remaining celibate. Not exactly an incel, and not precisely a MGTOW. I just happened to get myself stuck or stranded in between these two social groups. And I do some largely my attributes, plenty of my attributes and characteristics do happen to stand in between these two social groups as well. Therefore, well, perhaps you may consider me quite neutral in terms of opinion, but I do find some people criticizing me for being way too extreme or radical when it comes to saying things on the global interweb. Especially in particular when I make some comments against feminism, against nowadays new world, allegedly new world order or anything, and whatnots, etc. So here comes another important decision I have to make. As you guys might have already well known, I have two bank accounts that that are still linked to my existing phone number with Vodafone back in Australia, and I have to make some sort of swapping that says I have to transfer my existing number to a new SIM card, to a new newly prescribed blank SIM, by Vodafone Australia. Since the number, the size that can, the SIM card that contains my existing number with Vodafone will soon, become totally obsolete due to its size. It's a macro-sized SIM card, and so I have to keep it functional in order to receive verification codes from the banks. that's the main issue. And you know, and yet, yes, though I do have some good news from that friend of mine back in Australia. You know, he said that he, you know, he said that he managed to pick up the blank SIM card. You know, and he's already got it. Yes, and you know, since I've got some visual confirmation, thank God and thank him. So that decision I have to make is whether I have to purchase another cell phone from within Australia and ask him to ship it along with the blank SIM card, you know, right after he's got it activated within Australia. You know, since I fear I might not be able to activate it in China, you know, due to some sort of restrictions or even the Great Firewall, or you know, placed between the barriers of satellite communications or anything. Since I had another unpleasant experience with Westpac when it comes to, you know, changing the number linked to the account, and such attempt failed, since you know, one of my, you know, Hong Kong number I used, I'm currently still using, you know, can't receive any verification code from the bank. After numerous attempts, after you know, plenty of you know, phone call sessions that I've had with, you know, with the bank, apparently, you know, China Mobile or China Unicom has some sort of mechanisms in place that that prevents some sort of incoming data traffic or SMS coming from outside China. That includes, but are not limited to, Hong Kong and Macau. You know, since, yeah, legally speaking, yeah, Hong Kong and Macau, they belong to China. You know, they are under the jurisdiction of China. You know, under the, you know, the constitution of China. So therefore, you know, they have to, you know, comply with all those sorts of rules and regulations, blah blah blah. You know, all those red tapes. Well, yes, red tapes do have pros and cons, both you know, both at the same time. You know, yet you know, more often than not, they bring you nothing but more and more inconvenience and restrictions. That's why, you know, if yeah, this message I also like to send to MGTOWs. If you wish to obtain true freedom, you have to think outside the box. You have to think. You have to transcend. You have to both mentally and spiritually and physically transcend the borders. You know, the borders among nations and countries. Since you have to use your ideas, you know, to make that, you know, to make your dreams a reality or part of the reality. Therefore, yeah, always try to think outside the box if you were to succeed in your life. So yeah, should I purchase an Australian, or should I purchase a cell phone from within Australia, you know, and you know, have it sent to that postal address of my friends there back in Australia? Well, certainly you won't have to worry about if such cell phone could receive the SMS verification code from Australia while I operate it, you know, from within China. Yes, since despite the fact that such phone is likely manufactured in China, it still complies with Australian standards, and or if it didn't, it wouldn't have gained the permission to enter Australian border, don't you think? So before it can get imported into Australia, it has to comply with certain Australian standards, safety standards, certification standards, also tons, shitloads of red tapes, Australian red tapes, of course. So judging by that, in theory, such new cell phone that I suppose I'm about to purchase from within Australia should be able to receive the verification code, from the banks. And it doesn't cost quite a deal. It costs something like 300 Australian dollars, and less than 400 Australian dollars for an Oppo R15 or something. And I just don't want to create too much hassle for that friend of mine to use his own phone to test if the number gets successfully transferred or swapped to the blank SIM card prescribed by Vodafone. That's just it just makes me sound way too demanding and too condescending. Don't you guys agree? So I have to my shit, my shite, my problem, my shite, my problem. I have to unfortunately I perceive such likelihood that I have to purchase a new cell phone from within Australia to be quite high. I do perceive a high likelihood that I have to purchase a new cell phone from within Australia. So I have to, I suppose I have to cut that friend of mine some slack, in order not to hurt our partnership and mutual trust. So that's what I've been thinking. And on the other hand, it's way too risky to just purchase the same model of the same brand when it comes to cell phones from within China, because many of them just don't comply with international certification or some sort of other safety standards. And on top of that, some of them might also have built-in blocking mechanisms or even bloatwares that can hinder the reception of SMS or data traffic coming from outside China. So I have to take so many factors and elements into my consideration and scrutiny. I have to kind of scrutinize the whole process as if I inspect the whole set of problems as like a government official or anything, or someone similar. So yeah, it gets kind of awkward for me also in the meantime. So I like your guys' advice. I still have maybe a few days or a couple of weeks before I must make up my mind regarding solving such problem of mine. Since once it will certainly set my mind at ease. It will certainly set my mind at ease once I manage to solve a problem, and that means I will have less level of stress and strain, and in turn my mental condition could then somehow improve a bit. Even, well, I certainly don't expect a tremendous improvement on my mental condition, but I do certainly believe that once I get one big problem solved, yes, at least it will make me feel better and more secure and more in peace. You know, I believe the same principle also applies to each and everyone out there who have been watching or are watching my videos or paying attention to my channel. We all have our own cross to carry, you know. That means, you know, we all have to take responsibilities for our actions and decisions, you know, and that can include our, you know, the decisions and actions we made previously, and in turn it creates a you know, nearly unstoppable chains of reactions, that which we call, you know, fate or destiny. So yeah, sorry, I got a bit of way too philosophical again, but yeah, just I'm merely giving you guys my own thoughts about my own very existence and the very existence of all our problems. And if I always have suspicions, like whether, you know, all we experience, all we suffer, all we face, you know, they are merely illusions or hallucinations, you know, towards which we can trace the very genesis, you know, of those shite. Sorry, I beg your pardon for overthinking again, but you know, so that leaves me two options. Yeah, back to the main topic of this video. Should I purchase a new phone from within Australia, an Oppo R15 from Dick Smith, or should I, you know, just, you know, ask that friend of mine to test that blank SIM card once the swapping process finishes, and then have the SIM card along with the other item, you know, shipped to me in China. And then I purchase an Oppo R15 from within China. Actually, it's still, yeah, I'm not saying it's gonna be a daunting task or a difficult decision, but it's still gonna be a major decision that will have long-term implications or even repercussions, you know, throughout my whole life. So I don't know, man. I just feel more inclined, you know, to purchase myself a new cell phone from within Australia first, and once such new cell phone reaches that friend of mine, I will, you know, kindly ask his favor to test it on the new cell phone of mine instead of his, and see how that works. Yeah, so Jesus, yeah. So that's pretty much all I like to spit out for tonight so far. In fact, I just had another, you know, a voice call with a so-called fan, at least an audience of mine via Discord. You know, I just, you know, I just took some time to hear about his grievances and you know, some other shit, you know, which I shall, you know, withhold for a bit longer, since yeah, it contains a bit of a something, not exactly confidential, but sensitive, and withholding such information. I believe withholding such information for now will play a vital role in ensuring the future growth of my channel, and in turn also in ensuring people who are needy of help get the help they need in the future. Since I do believe my channel now at least has managed to create a small impact among the sphere of MGTOWs, incels, single dudes, fatherless Jews, etc. So I have to look after my channel, and that in turn means looking after my audiences and subscribers and your well-being, the well-being of my subscribers and audiences all alike. Sorry, I beg your pardon for getting a bit of sidetracked again. Yeah, it has always remained the key issue of my channel and myself as a person. I tend to easily get sidetracked since I have such a multitude of processes ongoing in my mind, in my brain. I don't know if God sends this amount of challenges to me as a gift, as a blessing, or as trials, or as punishments, or all of them. I can't know for certain, and neither can you. Nobody can, except God Almighty Himself, or some of His anointed or appointed prophets. But you can't know for sure either who have been anointed or appointed by God as His authentic or verified prophets. So yeah, sorry, I made this video a bit longer than I expected it to be. So thank you guys for watching and listening and paying attention to my sufferings and grievances. So let's scratch one another's backs and lick one another's wounds, and let's see what happens next. Let's see what the future will have to offer us. So yeah, you have to keep going, and that means we have to keep going, keep holding the line, even if we sin, even if we stumble. In fact, I just stumbled again, I sinned again. I just fapped right before I filmed this video, and but I did not fapped to some hardcore porno. I suppose that at least I managed to get rid of such habit by fapping to some sort of gore images, like I used to several years ago. Yeah, but anyway, that's worth for another video. So I hope I hope this video could in some way help you with your problems, sufferings, or difficulties. So yeah, I wish you all the best for those who are in deeper shite holes than I am. You have my sympathy and my thanks. So thank you guys again for watching and listening. You have a great day or a great night. Before we conclude this session, just need to cheer the orange juice. Cheers and good night. Stay tuned and remain faithful unto death. Bye bye.